Hello everyone, this is Daryl20, and welcome to episode 12 of Daryl20's Let's Play of ATM10 to the skies. Today, want to do some things. I want to do this, boop boop, and this, boop boop, and this, boop boop, and finally, this, boop boop. And the reason I want to do all these things is today I want to get into modern industrialization. And to get there, I'm gonna need, actually I don't want all you guys. I want you not cooked up just yet. I want like 3, maybe 6 stacks of that. So let's do another copper hammer. Because I need a bunch of, let's see, and then another stack of copper here, boop boop. And then you. And that should be cool. So if I do this, this, and this, and that, I should get bronze. And then this, and this, and that, and I should get bronze. You know what else I want one more copper hammer for? I want to get some tin and just cook it up properly. And then we're going to do this, this, and that. Cool. And are you going to do the thing where you push into the adjacent inventory at any point, please? Thank you. And then you all went in there, 128, perfect. And then, you know what, just give me like one of these. So I can do a similar thing here. And then we can do that. Cool. And then you guys are good to go. So modern industrialization requires a bronze ingot, which I assume I now have access to. Hooray! Quest completed. And I'm gonna do this, right? So I talked about how I want to do modern industrialization in this pack. I don't want to just spend like 20 episodes in a row on it. So I'm gonna start small, get some basic things going, then move into another mod, do some other stuff, then come back to it, and then do some more, and then take a break, do some other things, and come back to it. And I also want to approach it with the quote-unquote correct way of handling things. So modern industrialization is meant to more be like Factorio-ish. So rather than like on demand, I need this, you want to set up factories such that like it's constantly producing stuff. And then we'll like, you know, go from there. So that's kind of the plan for what I'm going to do. You know, last episode, we got a lot of good stuff going on. And I pretty much have like all the automations I'm going to want in play now. We obviously have a lot more automations to do, but we'll like cross those bridges when we get to it kind of deal. I probably want to do more with this center island here, like move this thing away so that I can do stuffs. But let's get our copy and paste gadget here so that we can... okay, and then settings... and then rotate, and then settings, and we want to do U and that direction. That's cool. Now, I don't know how big of an island I'm going to need for modern industrialization, so we're going to just kind of figure this out. And then settings, and we will do this and this. Nope, that. Cool. So like this square area here can be like your modern industrialization. Where is the feral flare? There he is. Cool. I was like, hey, where are my feral flares? You know what I need to do? A couple things. One, boy oh boy, I really could use, like, I like this jetpack, but holy cow, is it fast. Like, it's too fast. Is there like a setting? Controls, keybinds, category, jetpack, ascend, decrease throttle, increase throttle. So comma and period? There we go. Okay. So what I want to do... Ooh, that's much better. I like that. Yeah, throttle at 40%. That is much better. That is way better. That's cool. I really like that that's a thing you can do. That is super neato. I just wish vertical was a little bit better about it, but like, I'll live. All right, so this is cool now. I might wind up like completely, but this will be like modern industrialization island, right? Um, and then we've got some cool stuff here. Nice. So now we've got lots of bronze. Now we'll probably want to on-demand craft some stuff, right? Because nothing from that, right? But like things that are needed to get those things. So like the first things we're gonna need is a bronze casing, but in order to get that, we need the hammers. So I'm guessing this is about making plates and gears, which eventually we'll make with modern industrialization stuff. But like, we have to start somewhere, right? So we could just start with this, but how do we get gears? Gears looks pretty doable, right? And that I might want to set my throttle to 60%. Oh, that's a different hotkey. Controls, keybinds. So what's my reach around set to at the moment? Toggle reach around on. Cool. I almost never want to turn that off, I don't think. So let me do this. Keybinds key period. I don't need you and I don't need you. And then for comma, I'm going to change you and you. Toggle reach around placement can be like that. Cool. So now I can mess with my throttle without, you know, too many nuances. The other thing I really want to do sooner than later, which I might beeline for, is get to the end. Only because I really want to get tier 3 goo, and then I can have like my armor that I love. It's my armor. I made it to make it like something that I like. So, you know. All right, so let's start making some of the basics, right? So we're going to need that, right? And then from modern, we're going to need hammers, which apparently we can get from here to start with. So I'm probably just going to need a bunch of iron plates. Well, I know at least I'm going to need that many. And then we can make these, and then we can make a modern hammer. I don't know if I necessarily need this per se, but I needed it to do the quest. So I did it. And then from here, bronze machine casings, right? So this dude I do want to teach because we're probably going to want to know how to make them. So you and you. And then I also need to figure out how to make you. Now the question is, can I teach you how to do this, but set it to allow, click to, yeah, substitutions enabled. That's what I think I want, right? But then I also want to teach you how to make that. So if I put all this in here, are you going to be like super cool about like reusing the hammer? I guess we'll see. Bronze machine casings. If I wanted like 4 of those, that looks like it's working pretty well. Nice. Okay. Now what if I wanted like 4 or 5 more of those? What I'd like, oh cool. So like it's gonna do that, but it's also gonna craft another one. So that's nifty. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I was like really hopeful it would do, and it's absolutely doing what I wanted, so I'm very pleased. Platinum Logistics, you are the best. The logic to handle that is just chef's kiss, right? So now I can take those and quest complete. Hooray! And then next up, it's about the bronze boiler and all this stuff. Now, what's down here? More bronze machines. Get ready for some processing. Cool. So there's going to be like a bunch of things to make. So this starts the steam age. This is the boiler, right? So let's do that, but I'm probably also going to need you. I'm going to need some fire clay bricks, but I assume that I can just, so you're going to be brick dust, forge hammer of bricks. So that one I might need to just deal with manually, but I should teach you how to make bricks from clay. And do we have clay automated yet? Probably not. That's the wrong recipe, by the way. This is the recipe I want. And then you can be made from that. And then you're down here in the smelty place. Cool. So if I said I wanted 32 more bricks, that should be no problem. It might... No, it's cooking. Bricks can be thrown, apparently. It's kind of funny. So let's temporarily, set up... I don't know, like, this island, I'm not sure. It's kind of aligned with that one. What I'd rather do is just have that big area be my modern industrialization and then let me expand over there however I need. But you can at least make this happen, right? And then you combine with that. We're definitely going to have to solve the clay problem, but I don't think that's going to be a big problem. And then you're going to make those things for me. Because I don't think we use this for very long. I think this is like a temporary-ish kind of setup. It's like only for a little bit. Once we get deeper into MI, it's not going to be a big deal. So the boiler is what creates steam, right? The water pump, we need to make one, but I don't know if we're going to need to have one. I'm probably going to like AE this. So like export bus water rather than, doing the proper water pump thing. I'm going to, mix and match some other mods. So in order to make this, though, we're going to have to teach you, and you, and you, and you. So let me do some off-camera work, and we'll be right back. All right, so I've made a bunch of bronze stuff. That's cool. There's a large steam furnace and a large steam macerator. I don't know if we want to do all that, but we'll see. But we should be able to macerate coke, which we can get from the coke oven from Modern Industrialization, which, is that the thing I just made? Yeah, that. So let's get to, like, over here in it, right? This can be, like, my first starter steam island. Now, what's the deal with how we make these things again? Wasn't there something about, like, seeing the shape with Modern Industrialization? What was the trick with multi-blocks? Wasn't there a way to see the shape in game that we need to build? Hold a wrench in your hand to see how to set up the multi-block structure. I'm gonna want to use Modern Industrialization's wrench, only because, like, sticking with a theme here. Hey, that's what's up. Cool. So, basically, we're going to want you here, and then you, and that's what's cooking. Nice. Okay. Cool. Why do I not have enough bricks? I was supposed to have 21 bricks, and I had 21 bricks. Did I use bricks to make this? Oh, I did. That's why. I had 21 bricks, and then I didn't have enough. Oh, did. Now, in fairness, 4 of these can be input and output hatches. So bronze fluid output, bronze item output. We'll do item outputs on the right? So fluid and item. And then fluid and item. Status active. Sweet. Cool. And that'll be your coke oven, right? And then the coke oven can make coal dust into coke dust, and it can make all these things into coke, right? So we can basically just get, like, coal, input hatch, status active. Do you need, like, water or something, or what's the deal? I'm assuming coal works, right? Not just charcoal. Coke oven, coal, becomes coke. Creosote, 50% chance. 2 EU per tick. I need power for that? 1 millibucket of steam equals 1 EU. Okay. So what we'll also need then is our dude. I wonder how well cut and paste will work for this. Is this going to completely crash my game? We'll find out together. Haha, it works. Cool. It even saved the coal. Nice. That's nifty. Now what I'm thinking is maybe we have like the basement is where the power is and the top is where like this stuff is, right? So if I wanted to do that, basically I would take my copy paste gadget. We'll do that. We'll make sure that you're rotated correctly. We'll settings it up. Okay. And then over here can be like our steam boiler dude, right? I might wind up wanting to offset this a little bit, only to make that an easier reality. And then for cables, I'm probably going to need more wool. No big surprise there. But maybe I can get enough cables to run over here. But what I'd like to have is, so we want bronze furnace, bronze boiler, right? Bronze boiler is what we want. And that is going to make steam. And I assume we insert. So maybe I do want this here now that I'm thinking about it. Let's cut and paste. I'm going to put you there. Okay. Your job is to take water and coal, right? So I'm going to have you close. You guys can close up, right? And wow, I have exactly enough. That's kind of cool. Export bus, please. I should probably teach you how to make these, but we'll get there when we get there. And then your job should be to export water and coal with acceleration cards. And we're making steam, right? It's going to take you a minute to heat up the temperature, but once you heat it up, we should be cool, right? And this is kind of the pattern we're going to follow. We're going to use applied energistics to push resources into the machines that we need to do things with, right? And then fluid pipes from modern industrialization can be used. I don't have to do something like that. Nope. Close. There's a thing for this. How do we? Maybe I have to. It's this guy. Is that cool? Hey, there we go. Neat, right? And then you're producing steam. Isn't that the bronze fluid input hatch? Bronze fluid input hatch. Hey, there we go. And look, who's making coal coke? Round of applause. That's cool, right? All right. So then, like, we know we're just keeping in stock, and because this is a skyblock pack, we don't have to like worry too much about coal. Like, we're gonna be good here, right? Like, this thing's gonna last forever. I like it. You guys are all not gummed up. Good. So that's, you know, basic modern industrialization, and now we've got ourselves some coal coke, right? And then we can do things similarly. We can have things like the compressor and the macerator and the bending machine and any of that other stuff like set up on this island, right? So if I wanted this bending machine here, I would do this and that. And that. And now you're ready to bend stuff. And then you're ready to macerator stuff. Remember there being a trick about placing that. Like, I think if you, like, sneak click, it'll place, right? But, like, you are going to make coke dust for me now. Quest completed coke dust? That's cool. Cool? And then optionally we can get into, like, steel. But if I remember correctly, we could kind of skip that and then, like, just go straight down to making circuits. And then once we get into circuits, we can get into electricity. Now, if I want the next thing that I need, right, we're going to need a mixer. Let me see if that's right. Do I sneak click? Nope, that was not right. There's some kind of trick. I'll look it up. If I'm going to do a lot of modern industrialization, I'm going to want to know how to do this. Right? But then you, right, that's a compressor. I wanted the mixer. Where's my mixer? Did I not make a mixer? Oh, there he is. Right. Bending machine, macerator, compressor. Hello. Anything good? Enchanted golden apple? Wonder how many you're going to let me have. Just one? Rude. Much better. Cool, 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 and cool. Actually, I want that coke dust. So then our bronze mixer. I swear there was like something about placing you so that you auto connect. Forget what it was. I know there's a trick to it. I remember it from the one time that I played MI. Right? So now you can get water. And coke dust to make synthetic oil. Right? So that water will last a while, right? So we're going to want... What are you making, by the way? Creosote. Cool. So I think 4... Actually, I want... In total, I'm going to want a bunch of those, because that used 900 water, right? But if I want a bucket's worth of this... Sweet. And I'm pretty sure these are tech acceleratable, right? Presuming the, you know, stuff holds up. Definitely tech acceleratable. Right? And that'll be a bucket's worth of raw synthetic oil, which I can scoop. That's cool. That's cool. And that's going to get me this dude, which can lead to a steam blast furnace, and the most important ingot, which is steel. Now, currently I can make steel this way, right? So that's a thing that we could do to, you know, skip the whole steam furnace thing, which I probably want to do. Like, I'm probably going to skip this because, like, having a big steel blast furnace is just not, I don't think, necessary. Is there other stuff I want blast furnacing for? Maybe, but, like, not until later, hopefully. Though we do need it for synthetic oil. And I'm not sure if I'm going to need synthetic oil before I get to this dude. I'm assuming I might. If you gave me raw synthetic oil, realistically, all you can make is synthetic oil with that, right? And then that synthetic oil can be used for making stuff, apparently. I don't know. Something, something. I don't understand the point of that. But rubber sheets is probably what I'm going to need this for. So we'll probably want to create a steam blast furnace, just not for steel, but for synthetic oil, so we can make rubber sheets. Right? Bronze mixer. Do you have a synthetic oil recipe? No, that's just how I got the raw, right? Raw synthetic can only be turned into synthetic in the blast furnace. There's no other purpose for it, right? And then the blast furnace is how we get things like the rubber sheet, which I'm assuming we're going to need a bunch of for what we're about to get, right? Because that's how we're going to get analog circuit boards, which is how we get analog circuits, which is eventually how we get into electronic circuits and into the electrical age. So I think our goal here should be to, like, automate rubber sheets. Let me get rid of all this stuff, right? We want to automate rubber sheets so that we can automate you. Now, talk to me about some of these things. You are made pretty easily, but we probably want to automate you. You're made pretty easily with copper wire, which is made in a wire mill. You're also a wire mill. So there's a steel wire mill. So we probably will need some steel, right? But I'm thinking we can make steel the old-fashioned way. I don't want a big multi-block for steel. Though, in fairness, we are going to need the big multi-block for synthetic oil, right? So we'll see. But yes, so with 29 bricks, the steam blast furnace. So we're going to need a bunch of fire clay bricks. Give me as much of those as I got. Not quite enough. There goes all my clay. But easy enough to replace, right? And then what were you? Brick dust? I think you were in here somehow, right? You with that? Seems pretty cool. If I need more clay, I should have dust available. Not really. But what I could do is similar to this. We could have a dust, you know, maker dude. Real quick. Well, I guess I can't cut and paste you, can I? It's okay. Functional storage drawer. Placed there. You guys placed there. You do that, right? So now you are cool. All I need to do is get you some power. And some upgrades. And then if I unlock you for a minute, cool. And then relock you and link you, and then you should do a push. Down. Right? So now he'll fill this thing up, but like much the same as this, he'll eventually back stuff, and then we'll have dust available for using whatever we want, right? Because this is running at slow speed. This is running at 16 items. So in like, a minute or two, this will back stuff, and then we'll have some dust. But since I'm impatient, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You're not that. You're this. Yeah, cool. Cool. And now we have a bunch of clay. And we'll build up dust for when we need it. I think that's awesome. All right, I think it's wrapping up point. So for now, Del20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. What I'm probably going to do is get a tank of some kind. I wouldn't mind you to be a good starter. Will you auto output, like, in a cool way? Probably not. Probably going to have to do something like this. And wasn't it shift click? There we go. And now you'll build up creosote. What I will probably also want to do is have like a functional storage drawer. And I'm going to configure these guys. You know what I could do that would be way cooler than up, down. Check this out. Okay. And then we have a functional storage drawer with a item pipe from modern industrialization. Aren't there item pipes? Yes, there are. I just have to find the non... Needs steel gear. Let's get a fresh hammer. Well, actually, I have a couple hammers. So, iron. We have to wrap up. We really, really do. Right? And then you. This. This will hold me over. Right? And then while I'm waiting, steel gear. And then, you know what else I want you to do? Item pipe from modern industrialization. And soon we're going to be auto crafting those dudes, right? So that'll be cool. And then what I should be able to do... Yes? Shouldn't you be doing the thing? That's right. I think you need like a. You have to filter it, right? There's a filter thingy. I think both sides have a filter. There you go. Cool. And then we could storage bus these, right? And here's what I'll do is I will do from functional storage, I want an item downgrade and then a copper upgrade. If I put those two together, I will store 512 coke. So now we have a backstuffing mechanic, right? So this thing will keep running, it'll keep producing coke. I can export bus coal on here, and that'll be cool. I feel like we're going to use a lot of channels for this, but I also think it'll be fun. So for now, though, 20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time. Let's do an A2 bus because I want both storage buses. Actually, pleased to be making that, and then that. And then, yeah, next time we'll do a little bit more modern industrialization. Let me know in the comments. Did you guys enjoy this episode? Like, what's the deal? All right, for now, take it easy.